don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Oh.
It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules. But we just made it a rule. So.
I don't believe Caitlin Clark is targeted in any way. It's a great player. You're going to get teams' best efforts. I don't agree, with egregious contact and things that occurred after, stuff like that happened in last game.
Cheryl Reeve just straight up embarrassed Caitlin Clark in front of everyone. And the worst part? Clark didn't even touch the court. Her squad got smacked 151 to 131, a full-on blowout. And Caitlin? She was courtside in a hoodie, claiming she had a groin injury. But get this, the same coach who's been throwing shade at her toughness all season, Cheryl Reeve, just got proven right without saying a single new word. Just a few days earlier, Reeve said Caitlin ain't being targeted. She's just not used to the WNBA's grown woman level of physical play like the vets are. Then boom, Clark skips the one game that could have flipped the narrative and instead gets caught on camera walking fine, laughing, and looking unbothered. Before the game even started, fans didn't see an injured athlete. They saw someone ducking the exact smoke that could have shut Cheryl up. And while Caitlin chilled on the sideline, Napheesa Collier came out blazing, dropped 36 points in just 19 minutes, and shattered the All-Star scoring record. No drama, no complaints, just buckets. Suddenly, Cheryl Reeve ain't just a critic. She's looking like a prophet. Meanwhile, Caitlin's hype? It's starting to feel like a magic trick. All flash, no fire. And let's be real, this tension didn't just pop up. It exploded the second Caitlin pulled out of that All-Star game. Her team wasn't just missing their so-called star. They were already getting torched by 20 points before halftime. And there she was, comfy on the bench, laughing it up like nothing was wrong. Her camp said it was from a groin tweak during the Sun game 2 nights before. But guess what? The media day clips told a whole different story. Caitlin was walking around like she had no issues, no limp, no pain, nothing. Just posing and moving smooth for the cameras. Fans caught on real quick. Something wasn't adding up. So when Cheryl Reeve stepped up again and said she's not being targeted, she just needs to adjust, it hit different. Especially since Caitlin's jersey was selling out while she was sitting out, and her squad was getting dragged. Now fans are talking, saying maybe she sat out on purpose to avoid the one game that could have shut Cheryl down once and for all. Because if she had played and lost after all that noise, it wouldn't be just speculation anymore. It would be facts. This could have been the proof Cheryl Reeve had been waiting on, and none of this tension popped up overnight. Cheryl's been side-eyeing Caitlin Clark since before the season even tipped off. Their drama? It actually started last year when Cheryl, as Team USA's head coach, left Caitlin off the Paris 2024 Olympic roster. And that decision, it shook the whole league. Caitlin was already the WNBA's biggest attraction, packing out arenas and pulling in record-breaking TV numbers. So when Cheryl left her off Team USA, fans didn't take it lightly. They were accusing her of gatekeeping, protecting her OGs, and even slowing down the league's rise just to play favorites. And the wildest part? Caitlin had been loud about wanting that Olympic jersey. She made it no secret. It meant everything to her. But Cheryl didn't flinch. She shut it down with one cold message. Caitlin needed more time to grow, and she straight up said the Olympics ain't the place for training wheels, basically telling the world she didn't think Caitlin was ready to run with the elite. At that moment, Cheryl looked like the villain. But now, after this wild all-star weekend, her call don't look personal anymore. It's looking predictive. Caitlin's fame is massive, no doubt, but her ability to handle real WNBA heat? Still up in the air. And when Caitlin finally had the chance to make her own statement at the All-Star draft, everything exploded. She clearly tried to clap back at Cheryl by trading her off Team Clark and handing the coaching job to Becky Hammon instead. It felt like a bold, I'm calling the shots now moment, her way of getting revenge on the coach who benched her Olympic dreams. But instead of a power move, it backfired hard. Caitlin didn't even suit up. She sat the whole game out in street clothes while her team got cooked by 20 points. Meanwhile, Cheryl didn't say a single word. She didn't need to. That scoreboard was talking loud. What Caitlin meant as her big, I'm the boss now moment ended up proving Cheryl's whole point. And while Caitlin was parked on the bench, another baller stepped up and showed the world how a real star shines when the lights are the brightest. While Caitlin Clark chilled on the sideline, Napheesa Collier went off. She dropped 36 points in just 19 minutes, broke the All Star Game scoring record, and snatched the MVP like it was nothing. And what made it sting even harder? Collier was facing the exact same defenders Caitlin's been saying are targeting her. But Collier didn't fold. She didn't complain, didn't argue with refs, and she definitely didn't sit out. She just laced up and cooked. That performance didn't just steal the show, it made Caitlin's absence feel even louder. While the league pushes Clark like she's the golden ticket, it's vets like Collier and Aja Wilson who keep proving they're the real ones delivering when it actually counts. And then the viewership numbers hit, and suddenly, all eyes were back on Caitlin. Last year, with Clark on the court, the All Star Game pulled in 3.44 million viewers on ABC. This year, with her sitting out in a hoodie, ratings dropped to 2.19 million, a 36% plunge. Sure, it's still the second best in league history, but that dip speaks volumes. The hype is real, but it shows just how much the WNBA is riding on Caitlin's name to stay in the spotlight. Even when others step up and shine, the energy just doesn't hit the same without her presence. And that's where the criticism kicks in. More and more people are starting to say it out loud. Caitlin's looking more like a product than a player right now. She's got league protection, non-stop promotion, and all the media love, while proven veterans out there grinding don't get half the attention. And Cheryl Reeve's not the only one side-eyeing it. Other players are speaking out, and they're done sugarcoating it. At the All-Star Game, things got awkward real quick. Kelsey Plum straight up called out Team Clark for skipping a pre-game meeting about the "pay us what you owe us" protest. She tried to pass it off as a joke later, but the tone was sharp. And when Sabrina Ionescu got caught on camera rolling her eyes while Plum spoke, that moment said everything. It added fuel to the idea that Caitlin's camp isn't really embraced by the league's vets, and that the tension goes way deeper than just basketball. Even back in early 2024, veterans like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart were already warning the public, saying Caitlin's fame was way ahead of her actual game. No titles, no playoff run, no legacy yet, just hype, and a whole lot left to prove. Those veteran comments didn't just check Caitlin Clark's rising fame, they exposed how many seasoned players ain't here for the instant crown the league and media seemed desperate to place on her head. And just when things were already heated, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert came through and lit a match. She compared Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's rivalry to Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird. And that did not sit right with the vets. Almost instantly, top-tier names like Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Dejanai Carrington fired back, calling that comparison flat-out disrespectful. To them, it felt like their grind, their blood, sweat, and years in the league were being erased just to boost a storyline around two fresh faces. A rivalry the league seems desperate to sell. Even NBA champ Michael Thompson jumped in, saying the tension partly comes from ego and jealousy. Some players just can't stand seeing Caitlin getting all this attention and headline love before she's actually earned her stripes. All of this just makes Cheryl Reeve's "she's not being targeted" line hit even harder, because now it's clear. The pushback Caitlin's getting isn't just on the court. It's in the locker room, in the press, and behind closed doors too. From the jump, Caitlin's admitted the WNBA is a different beast than college. She said herself that she's been getting pushed off screens and struggling to adjust to the league's speed and physicality. But now, her mic'd-up moments are starting to trend for all the wrong reasons. She's been caught on camera repeatedly clashing with refs, calling one rude, pretending to make a fake phone call to mock another, and even snapping "grow up" during a heated exchange. And what did Cheryl say after all that? Nothing sugar-coated, just this. The league needs to keep things fair for everyone, not just for one star. And coming right after Caitlin's sideline meltdowns, that comment didn't feel neutral. It felt like a warning. If you want to be the face of the league, you can't just show up when it's easy. You've got to handle the same heat everybody else does. And honestly, this ain't new for Cheryl Reeve. She's known for keeping it blunt, even when it comes to the league's biggest names. Caitlin just happens to be the latest one in the hot seat. Way back in 2022, Cheryl Reeve already proved this ain't just about Caitlin Clark. That year, she called out Diana Taurasi, one of the most respected names in the game, after Diana kicked Sylvia fouls during a match and somehow didn't even get called for a foul. Cheryl didn't hold back. She told reporters straight up there'd be consequences. Her message was loud. No matter how big your name is, you don't get to make your own rules. And even Diana, as intense as she is, admitted Cheryl wasn't wrong. That moment showed Cheryl isn't afraid of checking anyone, legends or not, if the league starts looking the other way. Fast forward to last year. After the WNBA Finals, Cheryl exploded again. She straight up blamed the refs for robbing the Lynx of a championship. Her words, "The title was stolen from us." She dared the league to fine her for calling it out. And they didn't, because her rant hit hard enough to force an official review of the officiating. This isn't a coach whining. This is a coach fighting for accountability. She's checked the league over travel schedules, uneven media coverage, and messy refereeing. She's as hard on the system as she is on the players, so no. This ain't her targeting Caitlyn. This is Cheryl being consistent, just like she's always been. But what's catching everyone's attention now? The league's silence. For all the drama around All-Star Weekend, Cheryl's comments, Caitlyn sitting out, ratings dropping, the WNBA hasn't said a single word. No official statement, no interviews, nothing. And that quiet? It's making the whispers louder. To a lot of fans, it looks like the league's protecting Caitlyn by dodging the whole situation. If they admit the event fell flat without her, it proves how much they need her. If they defend her injury, it adds to the "she's being babied" narrative. But if they side with Cheryl, that's basically throwing their biggest draw under the bus. So instead, they've stayed silent. And that silence, it's fueling even more talk. That Caitlyn Clark's image is getting guarded, while vets like Cheryl are left to say what everyone's thinking. By the end of the weekend, Cheryl didn't even need to keep talking. The game said it all. Caitlyn didn't play. Her team got smashed. Ratings dipped. And while she sat courtside in street clothes, Nafisa Collier broke records and walked away with the MVP. No excuses, just dominance. Now Cheryl walks away, looking like the coach who dares to say what everyone else won't. And Caitlyn? She's looking like a player whose hype might not be ready for the weight it's carrying. The league's banking big on her, but are they protecting her too much? Now it's on Caitlyn. If she comes back strong, eats those hits, and proves she can carry this league on the floor, she can rewrite the narrative. But if she keeps missing games, clashing with refs, and letting others shine while she grabs the spotlight, that hype bubble, it's not gonna fade, it's gonna pop. And when that happens, Cheryl won't be the only one calling it out. The whole league and every fan watching will be asking the same thing. Is Caitlyn Clark really the future of the WNBA, or just the face they've been selling us this whole time? If you're hooked on this drama and want more heat from inside the league, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a drop, and I'll catch you in the next one.